For the casual fans, Francis Ngannou is just an MMA guy that fought Tyson Fury. Even for the more in-touch people, they know him as a UFC heavyweight champ that fought great fighters. But I'm not here to go over and analyze his entire career. I'm here to shed light on his childhood that made him this calm, quiet monster of a fighter.
First of all, as I say, even about my parents, it's not like they didn't give a fuck. It's just like they couldn't do anything. You know, even those who care couldn't do anything at all. So the situation there, the life there, was so miserable. Anybody couldn't do anything. My mom was always there, but sometimes she was just powerless most of the time. But she was there. But yeah, he make it very difficult to come to your point. After my parents get divorced, I was 6 years old. I started to live in a different houses, go to different family, and then trying to have friends, trying to be a part of that family, and then was always like, you know, kind of like rejected or something. At school, at home, at school because I was always a new kid. I didn't have a friend from home that we go to school together. So I get to school. I don't know any kids, whether it's my neighbor or not. I don't have any friend at school, any friend base. So it gets very tough, and my situation didn't help. I mean, the fact that at school they will point me out amongst other kids to be the one that doesn't have a pen to take note or a notebook, or the one that hasn't paid a scholar fee, so they're gonna kick me out in front of other kids. So yes, therefore you're not a good profile to be a friend. Nobody is excited to be a friend with that guy. A credit to my past, to that childhood who was very tough, because he taught me in the hard way, you know, to have to deal with myself, to be on my own, to not rely on people just by not having anybody while I need it, you know.
You don't feel a lot of loyalty?
No, because there wasn't nobody at all to rely on. You know, when even your parent can help you, not because they don't want or just because they can, then as a kid, you kind of like understand that you have to work your ass off, you know, otherwise it won't be easy for you, you know. You don't realize, but it's kind of like education, you know. I think if everything was perfect for me as a kid, I wouldn't be here and I wouldn't be having this perspective of life, because I would have been maybe rely or expect something from somebody or from life, you know. But I have a tough life who taught me to like not expect anything from anybody. You're on your own, you know. And then when you pick that up and like, okay, this is how it is. Guess, believe me, you won't get disappointed. Technically grew up by myself. I end up like not even trying to have a friend. I'm like, okay, this is my situation. Maybe I feel okay, just retreat myself, not just to try all the time and get shame of it all the time, you know. I retreat and don't have to deal with these people with their opinion on me. And but that motivated me at some point. I'm like, damn, look, this kid, they are looking at me like I'm worth nothing, but technically I worth more than them because I'm working, you know. Even though what I have is less than what they have, I deserve what I have. I work hard for it, and they don't deserve shit. They are just a kid.
Right.
They work and their parents provide for them. I'm not just lucky. I'm not just lucky to have the chance, but I'm still trying, which means I'm not bad at the end of the day, you know. So that pushed me to like, from there, I wanted something to prove them wrong.
With his parents' divorce, his poor living situations, and nobody accepting him, Francis Ngannou, at a very young age, needed to provide for himself. That's why he started working in sand mines.
I was about 10 years old when I started that, because I was in the village, and where I grew up. After leaving my aunt's house, I went to my grandma, and we had to do something. We had to work to contribute at home, to buy oil, to buy food, and also for our scholarship, for books. So you have to work, and that's how we started. Even though that work was meant for adults, but we didn't have any option, so we take what we had at the time.
How long did you have to work in these sand mines?
Until I left school. Until I left school, I was 17, and then I kept doing it. And then
you did it from 10 to 17. You did it all through school.
Yeah.
And
that was the only thing to do.
Right. When did you do it? Like, if you went to school during the day, when did you work in the sand mines?
Over the weekend, over the holidays, because I never had a chance to go to holiday, even for the summer holiday, which is like 3 months. That would be because we have a tropical climate. So at that moment, we have 2 seasons, a wet season and dry season. And that's a wet season, so it's almost rain all the time. Kids go to vacation and all those stuff. Adult doesn't want to work because it's raining all the time. Guess what? That was our opportunity when they don't want to work, so we have a chance to work.
Oh.
Otherwise, they will come back to their job. We will not have job.
Right.
So that was a good opportunity to work under the rain all the time, like get back home shaking because all day long it's been raining, so you have to stay active. Because as soon as you stop working, moving, you get cold, you just get freezing, so you get active. It forces you to stay active and to work even more, and our employer will love that because you work even more than normal. And so that's how we do it.
After nearly a decade of working at sand mines, Francis Ngannou finally decided to pursue his dream of combat sports by going to France, but the trip was far from smooth sailing.
When I realized that I had to leave, it took me like 4 years because I had to save money, not to buy a plane ticket because I couldn't have a visa, that's for sure. In Africa, when you go to ask visa for the West country, they make a whole background check. They investigate everything in your life, your family, to see where you come from and if you can afford to live where you're going, because they don't want you to come here with your misery. So I knew that was out of option. So the only thing to do was to sneak, and sneak was like migrating. The desert was from Niger to Algeria, not Niger to South Algeria. If you fall off the truck, I think they keep going.
Yeah.
And then this little pickup truck, like a little smaller than the Toyota Tacoma, and then there's like 25 of us behind that truck and with our luggage. So you barely sit in the edge of
on
the
top
truck.
of each other.
Yeah. And then have a cramp, trying to find something to hold for hours, because that it took us 24 hours to cross, and you have to hold, and you have to go through a sandstorm with this sun, get dehydrated, everything, because at some point you guys ran out of water. So you have to hold, you hold a truck at the point that when they stop for you to rest, you can't get off the truck. You just lean and fall on the ground because you're like a block.
Yeah.
You're crampy everywhere. But it's a matter of...
And you eventually get to Morocco, right?
Yeah, you get to
and
Morocco.
then Is that one of the most challenging parts, basically getting from there to Spain?
Yeah, Morocco was the most challenging part because regardless, it took me like 3 weeks and a half to get from Cameroon to Morocco. Then I was in Morocco for about a year.
Wow.
Trying to cross because you have to go through whether it's the ocean or the land. There's in Morocco, there's two territory that belong to Spain. In the west, there's this place called Ceuta, and in the east, northeast, there's Melilla, so which is protected by fences, multiple fences, and by wires and all those stuff. And sometimes you try those, those are very hard, and there's security guard in the Morocco side and in the Spain side. But we worried the most of the security of in the Spain side because they are well equipped and organized. They have all this high tech, the infrared, the motion detector, helicopter, everything, cameras.
So how do you eventually cross? How do you get from Morocco to Spain?
In the inflatable boat.
Inflatable boat.
Inflatable boat.
Okay.
So I attempted that like 6 times. I failed 6 times, and I made it on the 7th time because my option was the ocean. The barbed wire, the fences, that was very brutal. And when you get caught there, basically when you are a big guy, because they consider that the biggest guy is the oldest and is the leader. And most of the time, the leader, they're taking out on you, and sometimes they never go back. The leader never go back.
The reason Francis Ngannou is so weirdly calm is because he already proved the people back in Cameroon wrong. So when people told him, "You're an idiot for leaving the UFC," he stood tall because he proved to himself no matter how hard the task is, he will get it done. So lose the fear and prove to yourself why you can do anything in this world.